Krystle, and I live with my husband Alex and our cat Riley. Despite living with lupus, I try to enjoy life to its fullest. So come share in life's big and little moments with me. In my shoes.
Hey guys, so it is the day after the concert. We got home very late and it was just a late night, and I was just, as soon as I got home, Alex went to bed, and then I was talking on the phone with my mom, and it was just too late to finish off this vlog, so I am gonna just talk a little bit about the concert now. As you can see, I did buy a shirt. I had no intentions of buying a shirt because I had looked at the merch ahead of time and was like, I was hoping for a shirt that said "Shake It Off," but she didn't have one. I was like, I'm not gonna get a shirt. But then, honest to goodness, the concert was so amazing and so fun and just so awesome that I was like, I have to get a souvenir to remember this because it was incredible. So I did splurge and I got myself a shirt, but holy cow, guys, I have to say without a doubt that this was the best concert I have ever seen, like ever. Honest to goodness, like I've had, concert experiences like that where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the best concert I've ever seen. But then, there's always that next concert that could be even better. Well, this was it. This topped all concerts I've ever seen. I mean, I've been to wonderful concerts. I mean, I love my Backstreet Boys. I've been to every one of their shows in Toronto, with the exception of their very first one because I didn't know about them at that time. And of course, I love them, and their shows are fun, and they're amazing performers and singers, without a doubt. And I never thought I would ever say another concert topped theirs, because they were always amazing. But I did see Chantal Kreviazuk in concert, and at that time, I found that she topped all the concert experiences I had had because she was so personable with her audience. And both times I had very good seats. I think I was like third row, fourth row, or something like that. And so I felt very like close to her, and she talked to the audience and told funny stories and this and that, and just wonderful show. Avril Lavigne was great too. Who else? Sarah McLachlan was amazing and wonderful. I've seen Alanis Morissette. She was great too. Shania Twain was great. All these wonderful concerts I've been to over the years. And, but I really have to say, and I mean, I've seen Britney Spears. She was awesome. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that really stood out to me too. Amanda Marshall. If you don't know who she is, she's a Canadian singer. She doesn't seem to do much these days. She's been out of the public for quite a few years, but she used to have a lot of hits and everything, and she's an amazing performer too. And, all these concerts were really great and everything like that, but this one really, to me, topped every single concert I have ever seen. And the reason for that was that there was so many things in the show that I have never seen at any concert before. And so my aunt and I both agreed, like when we met up after the show, because they had different seats than me because we didn't buy our tickets at the same time, and we didn't even know that each other was going until we had our tickets. When we met up after, as soon as my aunt and I saw each other, we were like, that was so amazing. And both of us said the same thing, was that it was like every song we were like, wow, look at that. I've never seen that before. Wow, look at that. Like, it was just constant amazement. I would have to say the number one thing that astounded me and amazed me was that every single person in the stadium, which by the way, the Sky Dome, well, it used to be called the Sky Dome. They call it the Rogers Center now. I still call it the Sky Dome. She said that it was sold out, 50,000 people in that venue. So think about that. 50,000 seats were filled. Every single seat had a wristband taped to the back of the seat when you got there. And you got to keep this wristband. And at the time I thought, oh, okay, it looks like it's like a light up wristband. And I thought, and there was like a little tab to pull to activate it. And I thought, well, I'm not going to pull the tab yet because I don't want it to like go off until the concert starts. Little did I know that this light up wristband wouldn't have lit up at that time because it was activated and controlled through the whole concert. It was the craziest thing I have ever seen. So 50,000 people had these wristbands that Taylor Swift gave us free of charge. Like, it was included with our ticket. We got to keep it and take it home. And it basically, it just was like the coolest way for her to include her audience in the show. It was incredible. It included every single person, and she talked about it at one part in the show, saying that it was basically a way that she was able to see every single person in that venue, because I know from experience of performing on stage that when you're on stage, the lights that are shining on you are so bright that you can't see. I would say you can only see about 3 rows of people in front of you, and everything else is pitch black. You can't see any people. So her way of being able to see everyone was to give these wristbands. And she just seemed like so astounded and humbled and genuinely happy to see what 50,000 people looked like. And it was so cool. And so from the moment she came out on stage, and I had forgot to pull my tab at that part. So when she came out on stage and all of a sudden I saw all these wristbands light up in the stadium, I was like, oh yeah, I got to pull a tab of mine. And so I did. And it took a few moments for me to realize that, holy crap, these wristbands are being controlled to go with the music. They were in sync with the music. They would flash on and off with the beats. They would change color depending on the song or the mood of the song, like Love Story. All of them went pink. And then for, I don't remember which song it was, but there was one where she had like these lamp posts on stage, and they were like a dim kind of glowy light. And so our wristbands turned the same color as the light posts. And they were just like, some parts of the show, they went completely turned off. And then all of a sudden, like, something would come up in the music and they would start going with it. And, you know, sometimes they would have like alternating colors almost. So like one section would be one color, another section would be another color, and they would flicker on and off and alternate. And it was like a big, huge, like we were part of the light show. It was so amazing. I've never seen that done before at any concert. And it just shows that she really cares about her fans, and she really wants to involve them in the show and connect with them. And another way that she did that was that she had a walkway, as you saw in the video, like coming out from the stage that went pretty far into the arena. And I just thought it was a regular walkway that I've seen at other concerts. And then all of a sudden, like you probably saw in the video, it started to go up. It raised up, and then it also moved out more. So it stretched out further back into the venue, and it raised up so that people in the upper level got closer to her. And then it came and like it was on a slant when it did, but then it leveled off. It came kind of down and leveled off so that it was straight. And then it started to turn, and it just was able to turn all the way around so that she got closer to our section. She got closer to the section on the other side, in the middle. I mean, it was a way for her to get close to just about everyone, and you could have like an amazing view of her. It was the coolest thing ever, guys. Oh my gosh. It was, I don't know, like it was just such an incredible experience. And I actually got like emotional at some parts because it was like such a different concert experience than I've ever experienced before. And when she was up on the ramp playing her guitar and singing 15, I just started tearing up. I don't know why. Like even just talking about it now, like I don't know what it was, but she just is so humble and down to earth and personable. And, you know, she had different parts where she would talk to us and tell us stories and stuff and basically give us advice, which was, I mean, she just was inspiring. The way she was talking about different things and really including us. And then another cool thing that she did was for, what was it? I think it was for Blank Space, for the part where she sings Boys Only Want Love If It's Torture. She did the coolest thing. She recorded and mixed on the spot. And it took me a couple of moments to realize what was happening. So we're in Toronto. Our baseball team is the Blue Jays, and they're doing really, really well this season. They're kicking ass, and we are hoping that they're going to win the World Series because they won the World Series in 94 and 93. 93 and 94. So 94 was like the last time, I believe. And so they're doing really well. So she did this thing where she was like, Blue Jays, and she recorded that. They recorded that on the spot. And so they started to play that back intermittently. And I thought she was just continuing to say it, but then she started to sing over top of it, the Boys Only Want Love If It's Torture part. So she started to sing that over the Blue Jay part. And then I realized, oh, okay, they recorded her saying Blue Jays and they're playing it back on top of her singing. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, then she stopped singing the part about Boys Only Want Love If It's Torture, but they kept playing it back on top of the Blue Jay thing. So they mixed that in. Then she came in and started singing a harmony on top of that, which they recorded that and played that back on top of the melody and the Blue Jay thing. And then she sang another harmony part live on top of that. It was crazy. She was recording and mixing like right there. Sorry guys, I have like an eyelash floating around my eye. It was crazy cool. Like I've never seen anyone do that before. And then the whole thing with the walkway turning around. Her costumes were amazing. She had a pink dress at one point that had pink lights flashing through it. Her microphones were like amazing. She had like a gold one and a silver one, and like, I don't know, it was just so crazy good. She had these amazing dancers on stage that did like crazy things like flying paper airplanes and then dancing. One guy, I wish I had got it on video, but I wasn't ready for it. This guy like was lifted up on the stage holding onto one of those lamp posts and doing like acrobats on it, and like it was just so cool. And then while she was doing costume changes, she had like pre-recorded videos of her best friends talking about like what it's like to be best friends with Taylor and their experiences and what they do. And And then at the end of the tour, before she came out and did her encore Shake It Off, she had like a cute video of her with her cats, which I love her cats. It's one of my favorite things about her Instagram account is like her cat stuff is hilarious. And actually on Instagram, she posted a picture from Toronto backstage of her with like a huge cardboard cutout of one of her cats. I don't know, it was just unlike anything I have ever experienced. She put on such an awesome show. It was so entertaining. It was fun. I laughed. I danced. I sang. I cried. I mean, it was so awesome. And I'm so glad that I got the chance to go. Like, she's been here to Toronto before, and I've always wanted to see her. But for some reason, I would always find out about her concert too late to get tickets. They were already sold out. And so this time I made sure to sign up like on Ticketmaster for a notification of when she was going on tour. And I made sure to follow her on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. And so as soon as they announced when the tickets were going on sale, boom, like I got right on that. And I got 7th row. I still don't know how that happened because with Ticketmaster, it's just like random. They just give you whatever ticket and it's like you can choose to take it or choose to search for something else, but you can't pick and choose your seats. They just pop up. So I just got lucky. But it was incredible. I loved it. She involved her audience like no other person has ever before. I mean, come on, guys, like 50,000 wristbands taped to 50,000 chairs. It's like a gift from her. And I mean, I'm sure she had a big team of people working to tape those onto the chairs, but I can still imagine like the job in that. And like my uncle was saying, the wristbands had to be at least $1 each. So that's $50,000 worth of wrist. Like, it was just crazy. But so, I mean, I've always been a fan. I've loved her from the moment I heard Teardrops on My Guitar. But I have to say, I think I'm an even bigger fan now. Like, just seeing her live and how awesome she is, like, I have to see her again. If she ever comes back to Toronto, I am there. Because, I don't know, she is tops. So, and I would love to meet her, like, even more now. Because she seems to have a very similar like, sense of humor to me and goofiness about her that I like. She's just awesome. She's just awesome. So it was just good. And she had her surprise guests. Like, she's had a surprise guest every night of her tour. We got Charlie XCX, who I had no clue who that was, but when she came out and sang her Boom Clap song, I recognized the song from the radio, but she's not a favorite of mine. So I was a little bit disappointed because she did 2 shows in Toronto, and the night before she had Keith Urban. So I would have much preferred Keith Urban, and my aunt too. So that was kind of disappointing. The special guest was not anyone that I was looking to see. And I think the only other thing I was a little bit disappointed with was that she didn't do any songs from her first album. She didn't do any, Teardrops on My Guitar or Tim McGraw or any of that stuff. But she did, I think, about 4 of her old songs. Like, she did 15. She did, oh gosh, it's a blur. I know she did the entire new album, pretty much. She did Love Story. She did We Are Never Getting Back Together, which was cool. And then she did one other one, and I'm trying to think of it. And she's saying, I knew you were trouble. And I believe that was it. I don't think there was any other older tracks. All the rest were from the new album. But I did want to show you guys the wristband. So this was the wristband. It's pretty bulky. And of course we get to keep it, which is cool. And of course, you know, it's not being controlled by anything, but if you tap it, it lights up, and it does change color each time you tap it. Or if you shake it. Shake it off, shake it off. So yeah, that's pretty friggin' awesome. Honest to God. So anyways, guys, that's it. I gotta wrap up this video because it's probably super long, but I just had to. And you know, like, I really tried to be in the moment versus filming, but it was like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That it was like, well, I have to get a little video clip of this so that I can look back on it, you know? Like, I wanted to remember it, and I also wanted to be able to show not only you guys, but like Alex or my mom or whatever, like these cool things that I've never seen done in any show before. So, you know, I would do like a little clip or two from, you know, certain things that caught my eye, and then I would just put the camera down and enjoy the rest of the song. And another thing that I really made a conscious decision to do this time was to not rely on looking at her on the screen. I mean, yes, it's nice to be able to see her up close on the screen, but I always feel like when I watch the screen, it's like watching it on TV, and it's like, but I'm there to see her in person, and she's there. So I thought, you know, I have 7th row. I'm pretty darn close. Like, I was off to the side of the stage though, so I was in front of the screen, but the stage was to the left of me, and then the walkway as well. But it was still close enough that I had a pretty darn good view of her. So I made a conscious decision to, yeah, like, look at the screen a little bit so I could see her up close and what her costume looked like up close, and her face and her expressions and stuff. And especially when she was talking to us, I liked to kind of see her facial expressions for that. But when she was performing, I made a really conscious effort to just watch her on the stage, even though she was not close enough that I could see, you know, her facial expressions or whatever. I just wanted to make an effort that it was like, I'm watching her on stage and not on TV. You know what I mean? So that was a different thing that I did this time at a concert, and it just made it more enjoyable. So yeah, I loved every minute of it. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video now because I know it's probably really long. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.